Hi everyone, this week's topic is self-care and why it's most beneficial that we pick up on this and we act on it and we start to really revel and enjoy it instead of feeling guilty when we take the odd time out to have some time for ourselves. Okay, so many people have been brought up with the idea that actually focusing on themselves and taking and doing what they need for their own happiness and survival is a very selfish act, and you're selfish doing that. Has anybody had that experience, whether that's actually an environment of where your home has been, or education systems, or friendships, or school teams, anything, college teams, anything like that? I do love it when you take the time to actually make those comments below on any of these topics that I'm investing my time and energy and love into. So do have a natter with me anytime you feel like it in the comments fields below. So self-care, majorly important. I'd really like us to consider, is there anybody there that's listening to this that has felt a bit guilty when you have taken any time out for yourself? Because I think we should flip this. And I think the reality and the truth of it is we become more dependent on the state, more dependent on others, more dependent on everything else other than ourselves if we don't take self-care as a serious issue. So I think we should be more guilty about not having self-care than we do about having self-care. Think about that one. It is worthy of your looking at it in that regard. Freedom lies in changing perspectives sometimes, and if you don't do self-care, it often leads into trauma and illness maybe on the mental layer, or emotional, or stressed out, or physical. Something happens and cracks somewhere if we don't pay any attention. And this often comes to people who are of service. It's a difference really of being a slave to other people's ideas of their agenda for your life, as opposed to you taking responsibility, ability to respond to your own inner yearnings and your own life's control of what direction you want to go in and what self-care you're going to put in to your life for longevity. It's very different from slavery thinking to service. So I've been a facilitator of change with the public now for over 25 years in my healing modalities. And it's something that comes up quite frequently with other therapists. It comes up with the nurses and doctors I see, with various people who are in a profession of service, where they get so busy looking after everyone else that there isn't a regime that they stick to for self-care. And then burnout can actually occur, can't it? In any walk of life, really. So this is a conversation I thought I'd love to have with you about your self-care. And are you doing enough of that? Are you doing any of it? Are you aware of it? So if you're watching this, there might be a need to actually increase that capacity, or to just inquire about what it actually is. So the first thing is to actually ask yourself, what is it I want? Many people before lockdown and before COVID came, the speed of our human existence was mostly, especially in the West, exaggeratingly fast. It was very, 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 very fast. And it was unsustainably fast. It didn't give people the time to come out of that fast lane of existence, to actually go deep into the seat of inquiry internally to say, is this right for me? The majority of people were going so fast just to maintain their standard of living, just to be able to survive. So for many years now, we've had a mentality and a society where fast means surviving. We have to keep up, we have to keep up, we have to keep up, we have to keep doing. We are human beings. There's a clue there. Now, of course, we have to do the do. But we forgot how to be the being. And that's where self-care actually lies. It's in the being. It's selecting the things that actually honor our human being. Now, there's always things to do, and we can do as much as we want to do to feel that we're progressing and achieving. And that's a real big drive for most of humanity. But in balance, we need to do the being bits. We need to do the being. So let's have a look at it on different layers. So the physical layer, can I ask you to write down now the answer to your question, the main question that I've posed a little bit earlier, which is, what do you want? You know, what's your life about? What do you want out of life? Now, for some people, they've never stopped long enough out of their doing into the being space within yourself to answer that question at all. So if that's you, we've all been there. This is a fantastic awakening moment in our lives where we can actually just write that down on a piece of paper and start to allow the answers to fluidly arrive. And take note of them, and then consider if they're worthy of our existence and time. And if so, how we're going to implement them and include them. So what lockdown did for the people who've been experiencing that for several months is it gave people time. And we've explored in previous YouTube videos about the benefits of lockdown, the benefits of actually being able to slow right down and take some of those benefits that people have actually really luxuriated in and really enjoyed, turning them into values and deciding they'd like to continue with those values as our pace picks up and we're invited back into the fast lane again. So physically, how do you look after yourself? You know, how are you caring for yourself on a physical? And really write down all the different ways. You know, is it foods? You know, is it movement? Is it environment? Is it fresh air? Is it drugs? What is it? What is your choice of the way you're caring for your own physical body? Mentally, you know, there are some interesting, challenging times that we're in now and that will continue for some time. You know, the shamans call it the dark night of the soul. But actually, collectively, that's usually more of a transformation time. It's what they call an initiation time. So in your life, what are you being initiated into? You know, sometimes humanity needs a really good shake-up, apparently, in order to start building a new world. So you get the chance now to decide, what kind of world are you investing in? What are you creating in your self-care? So it's really worthy of us all to have that moment in time to say, what are my thoughts doing for me? You know, there's those old adages, isn't there, of a sort of two wolves. Native Americans talk about two wolves sitting on our shoulders. One is very positive and one is very negative. And they always say, which one are you feeding the most? So our mental health and our mental self-care is extraordinarily important. So what thoughts are dominating your mind? You know, I often love to remind us all that we are masters of our own mind. You know, there's no one else that can get in there and alter those thoughts. Only you can do that. You are the master of your own mind. So we can have all sorts of dark thoughts that arrive from all manner of places. But it's up to us if we live with those dark thoughts, or if we begin to adopt some different self-care regimes that help to change them. For those that might be interested, we've had extraordinary success with a tool called Game of Opposites. And I have a previous video on that if you'd like to actually go and have a look at that. People of all sorts of experiences of anxiety and mental challenges have definitely reported back to me that they've had an improvement step by step away from those pits of experience. So you might want to look at that, which is Game of Opposites. And there's another one that I've done, which is all about affirmations. And that's actually helping you to perform and get into the habit of mantras, which is just saying a sentence over and over and over again and feeling the feeling that goes with that in order to change your state. So there's another one there, which is affirmations in the positive mind state, that also might assist, and you might be interested in looking up. So, you know, your mind, as well as the internal language that you're looking at, and as well as affirmations, you might want to start thinking about how you reframe things. So if you've read an article in social media or on the news and it suddenly brings you down in your boots, and it's like, oh my gosh, and you're overwhelmed by that, think of actually not looking at it for a while. Think of a different way of putting information into your system. There was an old saying called GIGO: garbage in, garbage out. I think that's great. Garbage in, garbage out. So if we're listening and absorbing a load of garbage, then we usually speak it to, we usually start to live that way, we usually actually become it. So just be a little bit aware for yourself, and it's different for everybody, and this is about uniquely honoring your own self and your own needs. You know, it is about you. It is about you, and it's important now to take up that mantle of including yourself in to the highest order about taking on your own self-care at a very deep, valuable place. So, you know, maybe you want to change it from the garbage that you're feeling overwhelmed by. You get to choose what you read. You get to choose what you watch. You get to choose, you know, what conversations you have. You get to choose all of those things. So start to actually think about maybe making different choices so that your mental health can be fed in a caring way rather than overwhelm. Then there's the emotional layer, you know, emotions. I mean, the best way of finding self-care in the emotional side is what makes you passionate. What are you passionate about? But you can guess some of mine. You know, share with me what you're passionate about. That's the best way of keeping your emotional layer up there and all feeling lush, feeling really nurtured and cherished and gorgeous, is getting in the passion zone. It's not necessarily about massively fast and loud activities. It's about freedom. And it's about feeling safe. It's, you know, do you have a cuddly duvet day where you read what you want when you want? Do you watch what you want when you want? Do you have times where you just want to bake all day and eat it all? Do you have times when you want to have, you know, sessions with friends and family? Whatever it is that gets your passion going, do more of that. Is it singing? Is it, what is it? Do more of it. And if you don't know what it is, be really kind to yourself and inquire what it is. And if you say, well, I haven't got anything I'm passionate about, that's a fabulous place to start. Try a few things. Find out, you know, find out things that you might be intrigued about, or areas you want to learn more about. You might be passionate about learning a new subject. Anything and everything we can get passionate about. And so find out what your passions are, invest in more of those, and that's a way of self-caring for those emotions. On the spiritual side, well, there's so many of us sensitives out there that have been traveling this journey of empathic connections with the world, communities, and other people, that we've had to learn, often the hard way, about how to dip into the idea of caring for ourselves. And you do get burnout if you don't care for yourself. So it's high value. And I reckon now that, you know, I do believe in the fact that we are light bodies first, and then we inhabit these physical and this human existence for a while, for a time. And during this time, we are reminded all of the time of how powerful and amazing a light being that we actually are. And in these darker times, it's worthy of some time to feed from the well of spirit. I really invite you into feeding from the well of spirit. Now, that could be reading an uplifting book. It could actually be an immersion in watching some of the Gaia channel. It could be, you know, spending time on YouTube stuff with inspiring people and people who you come away just feeling better, having connected with their energies. It could be meditation. It could be guided meditation, walking meditations. It could be self-healing regimes. It could be just laughter. Laughter is a great way of breaking the spells of all negativity, really. You know, which are your ways? You know, is it singing? Is it sound baths? Is it playing music? Is it just time out? Is it sleeping? Is it wearing gorgeous clothes that make you feel cherished, beautiful? Is it nature? Is going out in nature just absolutely redeeming for you? What is it that lifts your spirit? So the spiritual side, which belongs to everybody, is about investing some time each and every day into the inquiry of the heart. You know, what makes your heart sing? This is a saying that's been out for a little while now. You know, what is it that makes your heart sing? What is it that brings you that blissful joy, or that sense of really deep connection and belonging to a divine source, to heaven on earth, to something more than? What is that for you? So earlier I sat down and actually intuited a few positive affirmations I wanted to share with you. I was kind of like tuning into who's going to be looking at this, and some of your higher selves gave me this lovely information. So let's try these on for size, see what you think. So one of them was, I am open to caring for myself effortlessly. So if it feels right to you, why don't you actually say this with me? Say it after I've said it. Yeah, so we'll leave some gaps here so that you can join in. And remember, with all affirmations, with anything that you say to yourself, you're hearing yourself witness your own truth. So anything that you say out loud, your subconscious takes command from. And we are programmed, apparently, neurologically, to hear and act on our own voice more than any other. So let's say this one. Let's try it on for size. See what feeling you get from it. Your body always tells the truth. It never lies. So see if it sits well within you. How does it resonate with your body? I am open to caring for myself effortlessly. How does that one feel? I am open to further guidance on easy self-care. How about I surrender to the love that I am? I am worthy of my place in this universe. Throughout all perspectives, I am still me, and I'm okay with that. I am the love, the light I am. I am aligned with my divinity. And this provides myself to thrive. So let me know. Talk to me. Comment. Any of those resonate? Which would be your favourite? Are there any of those that you're going to take on board and actually have as your own personal mantra for a while? Are any of those that you're going to write up around the place to remind you of this extraordinary being that you are, and that you have every right to be here, and that you're needed in this world? You know, this self-care goes much deeper, you know. It is really selfish not to care for yourself. It is really selfish not to care for yourself, because if you look after your own aura, if you look after your own life, if you invest in some time for your own happiness and your own loving self to fall into the land of bounty, then that means you are putting a pebble in that pond and ocean of the world that vibrates out there, that invites other people to join in the same. What world are we creating then if everyone took self-care as a high responsibility? If everyone did it, what world are we creating? What heaven on earth are we investing in? So yeah, totally selfish if you're not self-caring. Now, animals, the animal kingdom, I've got a couple of card packs because I wanted to share these with you to see what came up from the animal kingdom for us. Seriously, you look at the rest of the animal kingdom, do they feel guilty about looking after themselves? Do they? Anyone? Come on, let's learn how to do it. Okay, so these are, what pack is this? This is Diana Cooper's Archangel Animal Oracle cards. So I am asking for our assistants to join as our collective, as our group now here. What do we need as a message from this to enable us, a reminder for our own self-care? Oh, dog comes forward with Archangel Zariel saying, be disciplined in your home and community life. We so need to be disciplined to put ourselves first sometimes. So I'm not sure if you can actually see that very well, but that's the message. Dog, and a reminder that if we have some discipline and put it into our home and community life. So discipline, maybe some of us need to be a bit more disciplined in the priority of self-care. Yeah, I can take that one. And then the other pack is Colette Baron Reid's The Spirit Animal Oracle. So we're looking for some guidance and some advice, please, on our collective, what we need, what's the message for our self-care. Number 51. Sandpiper Spirit, be playful. Oh yeah, I think we can all take that one on board. I think that's so true though, isn't it? I mean, you know, sometimes we take life a bit too seriously. So let's have a playful approach with our discipline for our self-care. Just want an overall card. So this is like an overall humanities advice card that I've pulled out, and that's from the Colette Baron Reid Spirit Animal Oracle, and that's the Peacock Spirit. Let it shine, let that light out. Look, let that life from the heart shine. Let's go for it, guys. Let's really go for this. You know, we're already, you know, we're creating a new world. Please, please, please let yourself play a big part in that. by finding your happiness, shining your light, and let the love show us the way. Lots of love, everyone. Bye for now.